Nope. Yep. Nope. Yep. Nope. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to a new episode of DFV. I am Anthony.
I am Brad.
That is that guy, Brad, over there. And today we got a special one. One of these films we've talked about before, but the internet basically just put this in our lap. We got Everything Everywhere All at Once versus Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, so with Everything Everywhere All at Once, we did touch on this one a little bit, but this is a movie that we definitely need to dive into a little bit deeper. We kind of just scratched the surface with saying what we thought on it real quick, and then we moved on. Now we get to kind of dive in and talk about the real wackiness of that movie.
Yeah, and heads up, if you've never been here before, spoilers abound. Spoilers abound for Everything Everywhere, and spoilers abound for Doctor Strange.
Yes.
Did you see Everything Everywhere again before we did this?
I did not. I was trying to see if it was like streaming anywhere yet, and I couldn't find anywhere that it was available. And it's not even playing in theaters around me anymore, except for like in the one showing at 7 p.m. on a Wednesday kind of thing, and that's it.
It's still near me. I might want. I kind of do want to see it again. Mother-in-law coming in town this weekend, and she wants to see Doctor Strange, and my wife wants to see Strange again. I'm like, I kind of want to see Everything Everywhere again, not Strange.
I definitely want to see it again because we'll get into it, but yes, I definitely want to check it out again.
Oh, folks, if you don't know what we're about here, spoilers abound for both Doctor Strange and Everything Everywhere. So be prepared for that. If you haven't seen either movie, come back after you've seen them, or if you don't care about spoilers, stick around. Proceed, stick around, see what we get into. Look, man, usually we don't do this here, but you want to go chronological with this?
I think we should go chronological with this one. Okay. Which puts us first with Everything Everywhere All at Once. Do you want to take this one, or do you want me?
I got this one. This is cool. Okay. I got it. So Everything Everywhere All at Once. This is a very great, absurdist science fiction comedy, drama, action. It's really a cluster of a film, but it's done really well. It's made by the team of Daniels. You would know them best for the Turn Down for What music video and Swiss Army Man.
Yes, they did Swiss Army Man with Daniel Radcliffe.
Right. Yeah, Swiss Army Man with Daniel Radcliffe. So basically, this follows a Chinese American woman played by Michelle Yeoh. Her name is Evelyn Wang. So she runs a laundromat alongside her husband, who is thinking about divorcing her because their marriage hasn't been going so well. Her father, who is kind of old and in a wheelchair and cranky, lives with them, and she has a daughter named Joy, who she's visiting her on the cusp of was it the Chinese New Year, or was it her grandfather's birthday? Which one was it?
It was her grandfather's birthday that she was there for.
Okay, it was her grandfather's birthday, and her daughter has a girlfriend, and of course Evelyn's a little old school, and she her daughter is just so unlike her, just like Evelyn is kind of unlike her father, so it leads to a very interesting dynamic between them as a family.
Yeah, and with Evelyn, one of the main character traits of her is that she is incapable of finishing anything. She starts all this stuff. She basically runs her life on, the will of what's going on at that moment. And she never got to take in a talent or take in like a hobby or anything like that. She's a workhorse through and through and only cares about the laundromat. Like her family is secondhand to everything. Her hobbies are secondhand to everything. It's literally running this laundromat is all she does because it's all that she thinks she can do well.
Yeah. I gotta admit, when I first started this film, I didn't know how I was gonna feel about her character. Right. I was like, this is an interesting protagonist, but everything about her speaks, focus. I have no tolerance for my daughter's nonsense with her and her girlfriend. My father is cranky. My husband is being as dreamy and optimistic as can be, and it's pointless. There's no, like, that's another thing. This film is about kind of pessimism. No, pessimism versus nihilism versus optimism.
Right.
Whereas the father represents optimism, the mother represents pessimism, and the daughter represents nihilism. And I love how those three philosophies or those three walks of life collide in this film. But anyway, the thing that really sets this film off is they have an appointment with the IRS, and they meet with Jamie Lee Curtis, who I love how much she's a chameleon in this movie, dog. Like,
Mhm.
she represents the total IRS accountant. She's got the hair, she's got
The glasses.
the glasses, the hunched posture, the attitude of no, you're gonna listen to me
Yeah.
because your tax receipts are not correct. You see these
I'm
awards,
doing this for you.
right? You see these awards behind me that low key look like dildos. I won that for being the best auditor of the past 3 years. Like, she's just she's great in this movie. But this is where she finds out through her husband, through another universe, the Alphaverse, who comes in and tells her, listen, the multiverse is in trouble. I'm not your husband from this universe, but I'm your husband in another Alphaverse. You need to do something about this. The enemy is planning. We don't know who the enemy is at this point, but he says the enemy is planning to ruin everything in all existence. So from this point on, she has like a little headset that her alternate universe husband gives to her,
Yeah, it's like a little Bluetooth headset. Yeah.
the Bluetooth headset. And with this, she can travel through different universes within the multiverse and can learn different skills and basically save existence, so to speak. So, just to kind of like, fast forward a little bit, we learned that the enemy is indeed her husband, her daughter,
Mhm.
another version of her daughter
Her daughter from the Alphaverse.
from the Alphaverse, due to being shown everything, all it basically being shown everything everywhere all at once. It made her go mad and realize, and well, her realization is that existence is pointless. And
Yeah,
so
there's
she,
no point in anything if everything's a possibility, because it means that if everything matters, nothing matters
so
in a
with that,
way.
she just aims to destroy everything.
Well, she
So
aims to create an everything bagel by literally putting everything on a bagel,
right.
which in turn would destroy and collapse the universe and put her out of the misery of being stuck in the multiverse, where she no longer thinks she has a life, a personality, or anything, because no matter what she does, she can always just zip to somewhere else where that didn't happen.
Yeah. So that's that. That's the movie in a nutshell. We're going into a quick synopsis of it. Brad, when we last talked about this, I told you that I really thought this movie was amazing. And I know you said you thought it was great too, but you said it didn't deserve the hype it was getting, like not all the
Yeah,
hype.
I this movie is, and I still believe this, that this movie is getting just a bunch of like praise of like, oh my god, this is the greatest movie ever made. This is, the best thing to ever come out of, these creators, and it's getting to that
That's
point
not
where
a
it's like,
lie.
I
That's not a
mean,
lie though.
it's a great movie. I'll say that 100%. I agree with
It's,
that,
it's
but
not the
it's
greatest
getting
thing ever
so
made,
much
but
praise. Yeah, it's not the greatest movie ever made. But everybody's acting like this is the shoe in for the Oscars and everything like that. This is the, like, I give it this. It's definitely going to get nominated. That's for sure. If this
mhm,
doesn't get nominated, that's a travesty on its own. But
mhm,
I don't see this winning. Granted, we don't know what else is coming, but I
right.
don't see this one winning because of the kind of movie it is. It takes a lot of risks and everything, and it has a lot of great concepts, but some of them I think it kind of falters on that I would have loved to see kind of utilized a little bit more. Like the idea of her being able to use the different skills and talents she can kind of borrow from other universes.
Right.
I absolutely love it. But I don't like how she so quickly adapted to figuring out how to access those when this is a character that we're told isn't good at anything. This is what makes this Evelyn different from every other universe. Is this is the one universe where Evelyn failed at literally everything, which is the perfect place because this is the one Evelyn that I can't remember what they call the villain in it, but
Uh,
that she can't be found.
Tupaki. No, Jobu. They call her Jobu.
Jobu, yes.
Right.
So, which makes her the perfect person to fight Jobu because this is the only Evelyn that she'll never be able to find because she's just so bad at everything.
See, I feel like this. Listen, I've seen the praise on this movie, but I feel like we see that with everything everyone loves, right? We've seen that with Baby Driver. We've seen that with I don't I don't know if I want to say Twilight because Twilight was a phenomenon, but what's a movie that's great, but everybody hails it as the best thing ever, but it's not. I don't want to say Avatar either, which we got to talk about that. Did you see the preview for 2?
Oh yeah, I saw the preview for the second one.
Okay, we'll talk about that after the discussion. But there's a great film that comes out that gets way too much hype, and you know, I understand that, but I don't think a lot of hype that comes to this film is unjustified. Like I feel about this film the same way you felt about Coda, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So this one, I think a lot of it comes from the fact that for a while I really wanted to see this one when the preview started, and then it took a while for it to like come to theaters here. So it was about a month or so after it had come out in theaters before I was able to see it. And by then, all I heard was 10 out of 10 movie. This is the perfect movie. This is the greatest movie ever. And so I went into it going, man, this is going to be the greatest movie ever.
Man, you should never do that.
Sometimes it's right.
Sometimes it's right, but you always got to come in with a minimum level of like, we'll see what happens. That's what I did with the Batman, and I was blown away, and it really was one of the best Batman films I've ever seen.
Oh yeah.
But with this one, I walked in, everyone gave it praise, but I said, let's just see what happens. I walked in and it blew me away. Like I don't think it's a shock as to how I feel about this movie. But I guess what I'm trying to ask is so do you just, is it you going against the grain, or you honestly just think it's all right?
It's great. I think it's a great movie. I do, but there's a couple things that I would have loved to see a little bit more of, because you have this whole thing with her and her daughter. A lot of that is sped through very quickly.
You think so? I think they spent a good enough time.
Especially with her Jobu daughter and everything like that, because at some point Jobu and her daughter become the same person, or the daughter from her universe become the same person. So at that point, it kind of like speed rolls everything to her going, oh no, everything does matter, specifically because it doesn't matter. And it's like, okay, I get where you're trying to go with this movie, but you're not doing it. You're not selling me on this.
See, I couldn't disagree with you more. I think they sold it home, because when it gets to the point where it's like they start laughing like, man, life doesn't mean anything. We're literally a rock sitting on a cliff top.
Oh, the rock scene had me choking on my own breath. I was laughing so hard. I absolutely love that part.
Right, like that was great, you know. But then her wife kind of realizes, like, listen, I'm listening to my husband here, and he says, in the face of everything, you know, anger, madness, negativity, I stay positive, because positivity gets me through life. Like, I stay optimistic. It gets me through life, as it does like most of us. So she goes with that. She goes, you know what? He's right. Like when she gets in trouble at her laundromat, and the IRS lady, what's her name? Deirdre is like, oh, I'm shutting this place down. He goes over and talks to her, and she's like, oh, my husband, he's always ruining everything. But he's not. He actually gets to reason with her, and she's like, okay, fine, I'll give you an extension. Like, she walks away, and this woman has been hell-bent on like earning respect. Like, hey, you're gonna respect me here. I'm the IRS lady, you know. Yeah,
but I have the power here. You should show me the respect for that power.
Right. But he saves the day and he says, no, like, like, listen, my wife is going through some stuff right now with her dad, please, help us out. So she goes, fine. So she learns through that. She learns through her husband, actually listening to her husband, like watching her husband. God, no, wait a minute. There is meaning. There is meaning in meaninglessness. So I don't know. I feel like it summed it up well. It summed it up well without pounding it down into our throats. But I don't feel like it went by quick. I feel like they put enough sufficient time in it to drive the theme home of, there is meaning to a meaningless life.
See, it just didn't hit me the same way. It seemed to just come out of left field for her character, because up until that point, she's going, oh yeah, everything is meaningless. And then she goes, that whole scene with him talking to the IRS, she comes out as like, yeah, it's just your husband there. He has too much hope. And then she starts doing that to monologue against her daughter. And it's like, you don't, I don't like how that just skipped the beat right to there. Like, that one conversation is what made her realize everything. She's been living in the multiverse for everything. And it was that quick conversation that made her go, oh, wait, maybe you're right, Mom.
That's the meaninglessness of life, man. The realizations come in the weirdest places when it's been in front of your face this whole time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Listen, I kind of think you're grasping at straws, but I understand what you're saying. I think you're nitpicking a little, but I get it.
See, for me, this one isn't a nitpick. This is just one of those things where, to me, it felt like they just kind of were like, okay, we got to wrap this movie up. How do we solve this problem? I don't know. Just have her husband cause everything to be solved by just being optimistic. And it's like, no, that's not where everything was kind of leading to.
Right.
It was kind of leading to them, having this moment where they go their separate ways, and they have this moment where they decide that they can't agree on everything. And then it's like, no, we can't let it end like that. And it was just like, no, movie, stop. No, you were doing so well with doing something unpredictable. And then you went back into predictable.
Well, I think they could have ended it either way, but I feel like where they ended it drove home the theme of the movie. Like, when you feel everything everywhere all at once, you can't say it's meaningless. Even if even if your own daughter shows you that, look, you can literally be a rock on a cliff watching the sunrise. It's all pointless. You can find meaning in the pointlessness. Like, you can push back and go, no, there is something to look forward to, whether you have faith in God or whether you have like faith in humanity. There's always something to look forward to and have faith in. Like, I feel like I don't like the whole Captain America optimism of superhero films, but I like the optimism that was thrown at me in this one, because I was like, you know what? It drove that point home. It even explored the negativity part of it, but it drove it home, and I don't know, it didn't seem predictable to me.
To me, it just came off as like the safe way to end the movie, for a movie that was playing on the edge of your seat the entire rest of it. I'll say this: the rest of the movie, this is literally the one thing.
Oh yeah.
I have a problem with this movie. I don't think I'm nitpicking with it, because this is just the one point where I actually was sitting at the movie theater and went, okay, that's what they're going to do at the ending. Really? Like, okay, movie. You did great up to this point. You did great. But it was such a safe way to end the movie that I was kind of disappointed in it. Still, I think they did it well. Right. I'm not going to say that it was a bad ending and it ruined the whole movie or anything like that. It was just the safest play for the movie, which is not the turn that I was expecting it to, or the turn that I wanted it to take. I wanted it to go somewhere else, because you have, the Daniels is what they're known as, with Quan and Shaynert, which their movies don't end on a predictable note.
They've only had one.
Well, with Swiss Army Man, like, that one didn't end on a predictable note. There was no way to tell where that movie was going, and they still took it in a way that was like,
I ain't see it yet.
Oh, okay. So I won't go into that one then. But this movie just kind of played on the safe bet for it, and that's what kind of just was like, that's disappointing to me.
I
That said, I
disagree.
understand where everybody's like coming out and going, "Oh, this movie is amazing" and stuff, but it's like
Yeah.
I think it's getting too heavily praised at
Look,
that point.
I gotta hit you with the uncut gems. I disagree, Gary. I disagree. I disagree. But all right, man. Let's hold up. Quick. Favorite moments,
Oh, favorite moments, the rock scene,
right?
the going back in time to discover where the sausage fingers universe went wrong with the monkeys just killing the last like normal handed being. That was great. The moment with, I guess, the moment where he had to like use paper cuts to figure out how to connect to another universe, and then when it goes back to that version's, him, where he just goes, "My hand, what the," that was great. The choreography in the fight scenes, absolutely amazing.
Dude. I knew at some point those Auditor of the Year awards would be used for something.
Oh
I'm
yeah, as
like,
soon as they showed it like in the shape of a butt plug, I was like, oh, that's going up somebody's ass at some point in this movie.
I was
There's
like
no way that they would make it like that otherwise.
that can't just be just a one-off joke. That has to
Right.
be used for something. And then when all the guards, and the guard is kind of fighting it, like put the thing up his ass, and she's trying to stop him. Then he kind of like taps into the, because you got to do something weird to like get a skill or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, and I like how when they say to her, they say, "Listen, you got to do something weird. You got to tell Deidre you love her." She's like, "No way." She's like, "You got to tell her you love her. Like you got to mean it."
I love you. No, you gotta mean it.
Right. Yeah, man. I thought the fight scenes were great, dude. Like I
The
love it.
fight scenes were phenomenal in this. It's had some of the best choreographed fight scenes that I've seen in a movie in a long time.
Mhm. Like I liked when Wayman I think this was his alpha verse self when he did the showdown with the guards, like when they first started fighting.
Mhm.
I like how he got the belt out and he was just like getting prepared. The actor, he talked about that. He says, "Well, I practiced man, I forgot what he practiced. I don't know what kind of martial arts style it was, but he says I practiced that in real life. So like shooting that scene was like, it was me getting back into like, what I used to
It
practice."
was like natural motion to him. It wasn't
Right.
like, here's how you had to do this. He was just going, "Oh no, I got this. Don't worry."
Hey man, I didn't even notice. Did you know Rakakuni? Randy Newman voiced him?
No.
Yeah. My man's who did You Got a Friend in Me voiced Rakakuni.
Uh oh, I completely forgot about that thing. The Rakakuni.
Right. It
That
was
was great.
basically, yeah.
I
Yeah,
love that they
man.
had a payoff too. As soon as she was saying no, 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 Rakakuni, the raccoon in the hat that controlled the man to cook stuff. I was like, there's gonna be a Rakakuni universe. I know that there's gonna be one. And when it popped up, I was like, oh, this is great. I love this. This is absolutely wonderful. Because it was even better than I could have expected it to be.
Right. Right. Yeah, man. This whole movie is just great insanity. I loved it, man. I thought it was a great crowd pleaser. Uh and I like how I really like how everything comes together in the end. I feel like it's a great happy ending to me. I like how even when she's at her worst, like this is like her worst self in all the universes, she still finds happiness. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
She's still able to find happiness. She's still able to like connect with her grandfather in the end. He's able to connect with his granddaughters. No, connect with her father in the end. She's able to
Oh
connect with
yeah.
her. He connects with her his granddaughter's girlfriend. They this ended things on a very like nice smiley face note, man. And I didn't feel cheated.
See, I like I said, that's the only part of this movie that I felt cheated on. That I still think that there's way too much hype going on for this movie, especially for the kind of movie it is, where a lot of people are going to walk into it and go, "I don't understand what I just watched." You know,
See, huh? Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. I feel like if you give yourself into the weirdness, this film pays off so much. Like, even if you don't know what you're walking into and you just give into it, it pays off and it hits well. Straight up 5 out of 5 for me.
This one, yeah, it's a 5 out of 5 for me still. Even with that one
So
thing,
you were nitpicking. That's what it was.
it is. I don't think it's a nitpick, but at the same time, that one thing doesn't falter the whole rest of the movie to me.
Right, right.
It's a problem with the movie, but I don't think
Mhm.
it's a problem that brings it down to a 4 out of 5 or a 4.5 out of 5. It's just a problem that I still have with the movie. I still think that it's getting too much of this weird hype around it too. Still, it's weird. I really do like the movie, but I still feel like it's getting way too much praise for, you know, it's hard to explain on that one.
I disagree, man. I disagree. But let's move on to the newest film on our agenda, and I'll let you take this off. We got Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Yes. So, following the events of all the 200 previous Marvel movies and everything,
Right.
we are followed again the story of Dr. Stephen Strange. This time, a woman has appeared in this universe named America Chavez, who has the ability to travel through the multiverse and go to any universe in which she decides, but she doesn't have any control of her power. So, in an effort
Mhm.
to find somebody that can help out, he decides to enlist the help of Scarlet Witch in order to find a way to protect her from this being that's trying to get access to her, only to find out that the being is, Wanda Maximoff, the Scarlet Witch herself.
Well, technically, he enlists Wanda's help, not
Yeah,
knowing that the Scarlet Witch who was taking over Wanda is the person that's after America.
yes. So he goes to enlist the help of Wanda, who is the most powerful witch that he knows of that would be able to actually help with what's going on, only to find out she's the one causing it. And this leads to America then taking Steven on a journey through the multiverse, trying to find a way to evade Wanda and defeat her, while Wanda is also simultaneously chasing them through the multiverse using the Darkhold that she has access to.
Right. Yeah, so in a nutshell, that's what it is. I gotta say, when this film started, I was in. I was in. I was like, all
Mhm.
right, Doctor Strange 2, let's go. Um, the pacing, it took a while, man, for me to kind of get interested. The cold open with America and that universe's Doctor Strange who speaks Spanish. You know, uh,
Oh yeah, he was labeled as Defender Strange.
Defender Strange. Okay.
Yep.
There's many Stranges in here. You got Defender Strange, you got Zombie Defender Strange, you got R Strange, you got Third
Mordo
Eye,
the Sorcerer Supreme. You had the Incursion Strange.
the Third Eye one.
Yeah, the Third Eye one.
Oh yeah, the Third Eye one. Yeah, you got a lot of Strangers in here. The cold open I thought was nice, good action, good start off point. But when the film kind of started and we see Doctor Strange at the wedding, he's talking to the woman that kind of, his girlfriend that got away, found another man. Um, oh man, the one thing I do like about that scene, I love Michael Stuhlbarg's scene where he sits next to him and says, yeah, because it starts off funny, then gets sad. He says, yeah, when I
Mhm.
was gone, my pets died.
Yeah, I lost all my cats.
Right. And then he says, then I lost my brother. And, Doctor Strange was like, dude, I'm sorry. He's like, well, I just gotta ask if there was any other way. Could we have prevented this? He
Or
says
yeah,
no.
was this really the only way to defeat Thanos?
Right. And he says, no, man, that was the only way. He says, well, at least you didn't get the girl. I was like, oh man, that's such a
Yeah,
gut punch.
it
That was a
is.
great line. That was a great line. But he talks with her and he just kind of apologizes for like not being the kind of man that she needed, but she's happy now with her new husband. From then on, when he runs across America and he's saving her from that like that like beast thing that was chasing her, then it kind of goes into like kind of like the worst of Marvel or like the most mundane of Marvel, where it starts going into the Marvel type humor. They're sitting at the restaurant, him, her, and who is
Wong.
it's like, his name is Wong in real life.
Yeah.
Benedict Wong. Okay, yeah. So it's him, Wong, and America sitting at the restaurant. He's like, yeah, I used to know this guy named Spider-Man. Spider-Man. Yeah, he slings webs. What, the webs come out of his butt? I'm like, I don't think so. I'm like,
Yeah.
because I get it. I get some kids are coming to see this. I'm like, all right, Marvel
Oh, I
humor.
hope no kids are coming to see this one.
I want to get into that too, because this was
Yeah.
dark. This was really dark. A little satanic in some images. But what I was gonna say was the pacing kind of, it took a while to keep my interest. Did
Mm.
you have that same issue?
So yeah, I'll agree with this one. It goes into the Marvel formula, which yes, the formula works. I'm going to say that straight off the bat. But
Most
when
of
you've
the time.
seen the formula 20 plus times now,
27 times. This is the
right,
28th.
it's getting a little dry. They need to mix it up, because that first, I'd say, up until they get pushed into the other dimension, everything was just kind of okay. Now this is happening. Here's this. Here's the introduction of the villain.
Yeah.
Here's how they do this. Oh, look, their first plan failed, which shows that the villain's stronger than they expected. And it's like it's so formulaic to what you expect that it none of it is a surprise. Like as soon as she popped up as the villain, I was like, okay. Or no, at first what happens is when Strange goes to her and is like, I need your help. And she's like, well,
Right.
you should just bring America here.
He was like,
Oh, wait,
I never mentioned her.
you never gave me her name, did you? And it's like, oh God, she is the villain in this. And then they do the whole thing, and then it's like, okay, well, they're gonna try and protect her. They're gonna fail. She's gonna pop them into another universe, and all that happened.
Right. They're gonna
From
bring the
that
good
point,
out of her and
yeah,
stop her from being so evil. And come on, man.
yeah,
Yeah.
go talk to her and see what you can do. Don't screw this up. It's the fate of the universe. And he goes up, he screws it up, and he comes
Right.
back.
No pressure.
No pressure. It's like, okay, yeah, it's the Marvel jokiness on a bad situation. Then comes back, did it work? I did exactly what you requested. Like it's
Dude, you know why I loved Eternals? Because even though there was some like lighthearted humor jokes, like the stakes were real. Like
yes.
like Chloe Zhao did a great job with that movie. She made the stakes real. None of that. I guess we gotta save the day. Yeah, I guess we do. No, it was, listen, we gotta save the day because this is going down. This movie was kind of like, just another day at work.
Yeah.
You
I will
know,
say the first like third of the movie, I wholly agree with you. The
oh
movie
yeah,
is basically, but Wanda isn't a villain. They're gonna play the thing where she decides that what she's doing is wrong, and she'll
right.
turn around and turn into a good guy, and maybe
Wanda's not a
then
villain. Scarlet Witch is.
right, yeah.
Yeah.
But it'll play with that whole thing, and then we'll have a real like I was almost expecting this to become like a Batman v Superman thing where they'll fight at the beginning and then a bigger evil will come at the end that they'll fight together kind of thing.
No, it's the
That's
whole
kind of what
movie.
I was expecting with this one.
Yeah.
And then the second part of the movie occurred where they went into the Illuminati universe, which I gotta say, I all nerdum, you know movie critic me thought it was good. Nerdum me was howling inside of my head every direction during
I,
those scenes.
I want to get to that. I want to get. We're gonna get to that in one moment. But one thing, him mentioning Spider-Man, I thought he wasn't supposed to remember him.
He doesn't remember Peter Parker.
Come
He
on,
remembers
man.
Spider-Man.
But I thought the whole world forgot about Spider-Man.
Now, the whole world forgot that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Because at the end of Spider-Man, we still
Oh,
saw Jay Jonah talking about Spider-Man being a menace and everything like that.
okay.
And
That
people
makes it
still
clear.
recognize that Spider-Man was in the Avengers and he, helped fight Thanos and stuff like that. So people know Spider-Man, but all knowledge of Spider-Man being Peter Parker is gone. So Doctor Strange goes, yeah, I worked with Spider-Man. He didn't say I worked with Peter Parker. He doesn't know Peter Parker. He knows Spider-Man.
Hmm. Okay, Illuminati. First off, listen, I know it's based off the comic. I know the Brian Michael Bendis comic. Why would you call them that? Like, come on, you could pick any other name except the Illuminati. Really?
So the purpose of the Illuminati is that it was supposed to be the secret team behind the Avengers,
Right,
made up
right, yeah.
of one person from every group that would kind of make the tough decisions when that group couldn't. So in the comics, it was made up of Xavier, Captain America, Iron Man, Black Panther, Namor, and
The
Doctor
talking guy.
Strange.
Who's the talking guy?
The Black Bolt.
Black Bolt, yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't a part of it in the comics that I recall.
I
Because I
saw him on the
know
cover.
um
On the
maybe
cover, it
he
was
is, and I'm just not remembering correctly.
yeah, the
But
Brian. Go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, the whole purpose of them is they're the leaders of each of their respective groups.
Mhm.
Oh, Mr. Fantastic is a part of it too.
Right, yeah. See,
So in this universe, they didn't have an Avengers. They just had that group that was there to make the toughest call on decisions, and they would enact on lethal force, which is from the comics, where the Illuminati would do things that the Avengers wouldn't. So it was the
mhm,
Illuminati's decision to like try and nuke Hulk when he was in space to get rid of him as a problem forever, which had
mhm,
caused the whole World War Hulk comic line and everything. So the Illuminati is kind of like, think of a more evil intent, or a good intentioned evil outcome version of the Avengers. So them being this universe's like only hope does work, because this universe doesn't have problems because they take them out quickly.
hmm.
So
Okay. Yeah, no, I
having
knew.
them as their version of the Avengers, I think it worked perfectly.
Well, I think in the realm of the film, going through different universes, it's a pretty. It was interesting to see that, like in another universe, Captain Marvel's friend is Captain Marvel. You know what I mean? Her old buddy is Captain
Mhm.
Marvel. You got Reed Richards, you got Xavier. Which hold up, before we get to that, uh, when John Krasinski showed up as Reed Richards, I was like, oh, it's John Krasinski. There was clapping. Did I miss something, or did they just announce that
So John
something?
Krasinski has been a fan casting hope for Reed Richards ever since Marvel got the Fantastic Four back.
Ah, okay.
So everybody has been kind of fan casting that John Krasinski would play uh, Mr. Fantastic for the upcoming Fantastic Four movie. So with
Mm.
this, it kind of, they didn't show any trailers or any announcements or anything for who else was a part of the Illuminati. The only thing that was mentioned was Xavier having that one line in the trailer, which you don't even really see him.
Perhaps we should tell him the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, when he showed up, man, I like how they did the little X-Men jingle, the
Yes.
dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun, and I kind of clapped my hand a little bit. I'm like, oh man, Patrick Stewart. Dude, Danny Elfman did a great job with this score.
Was it Danny Elfman on this one?
It was him. Yeah. I didn't know until the credits and they showed his name. I'm like, oh, Danny Elfman.
Oh, I didn't realize that he did the score for this one. Yeah, the
Yeah.
score was great on this.
With the guitar riffs and everything. Yeah, so Professor Xavier shows up and they tell Doctor Strange about what happened to the other one, the one of him in that universe that they had to kill.
Mhm.
Um, that whole sequence was kind of it was it was cool to me, but I was like, yeah, okay. Because I the first half kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. That, don't get me wrong, some of the action scenes kind of kept me engaged.
Mhm.
And I love when Wanda was going against all four of them. Like the
Oh
whole
my god,
sequence with
that
Xavier in
is
her
the
head.
scene that started getting me. So I'll say when they appeared in the universe, I was like, okay, I'm getting hyped now. They're starting to actually travel to the other universes. We're gonna see some cool stuff. And then we
Right.
got to see Mordo as the Sorcerer Supreme. I'm like, okay, this is gonna be good. And then it's the Illuminati universe, and I was like, oh, this is getting really good. That fight scene is where my brain clicked from this movie being like, this is a good Marvel movie too. I am hyped as shit right now.
Right. Right. Dude, I love when Xavier was in her head. And I like how he was trying to, pull Wanda out. And I like how like Scarlet Witch kind of overcame him and he died. Dude, I like when she went against Black Bolt. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, the way, so that was one of the things when they showed like Black Bolt on there. I was like, okay, there's nothing that Wanda can do. This is over. It's just that's going to be their ace in the hole for defeating Wanda. And then when she just erased his mouth and his head exploded, I was like, oh, this is great. And then she dissolved Mr. Fantastic into the fibers, since he's literally basically a giant stretch ball. He, dissipated him that way. I was like, absolutely genius. Her fight with, Captain
Agent
Carter
Yeah.
and Agent Carter and Captain Marvel there. I love that as well. Her getting cut with the shield, and then you just see it there with the blood on it, and her body fall over.
Captain Marvel hanged in there though.
She hung in
there.
Yeah. Hers was the only death that I was kind of disappointed in.
Yeah,
after seeing the other ones, yeah. She had a statue fall on her. I was like, really?
That was weak.
That was weak. But at the same time, my hype levels at that point were so off the chart that I was like, she got a statue cut off. Well, okay, let's keep going. Let's go. Let's see Xavier now.
I need more. I need more.
More carnage. I need it all.
I did like the scene where when the witch kind of breaks through, going all the way back, when the witch kind of breaks through the temple and like the shield they put up. I like when Strange in America first traveled through the multiverse. I thought it was cool how they were traveling and they became animated.
Oh yeah, and, when they went through the multiple things. So the ones that I noticed from the comics the most, that weren't the ones that were prevalent. Like there was one where it had like everything was like white, kind of robot-y. I have no idea what universe that was. Then there was the paint universe, the one where everything was cubes. There was the bug universe. I didn't recognize that one from where that would be. The dinosaur one, I'm guessing, would be like the Conan the Barbarian kind of universe. Then there was the noir universe where everything was black and white. I thought that was a great nod. There was a cartoon universe, obviously, where it's like the Spider-Ham kind of stuff comes from. We already had like a reference to that with Thor Frog in Loki in that quick little scene. Then we had, which was the Dark Ages one, which was the one that there was like no power in the universe, which is actually a pretty cool like mini series. And there was another one that I remember seeing that the 2099, where everything was like neon.
Yeah, they went through some pretty cool places. Yeah, but right after that, when Strange and Mandu, is this Mandu or Mandu?
Or Mondo?
Mondo. Okay, I'm sorry.
Or Mordo. You're talking about Mordo?
Mordo.
You're talking about the guy that was the new Sorcerer Supreme in the Illuminati universe, right?
Carl Mordo.
Yeah, Mordo.
Like when him and when Strange and Mordo start fighting and stuff like that, and him and America managed to, I think he manages to escape, but he's trying to like find something to beat the Scarlet Witch to save America. That's when I started to kind of lose interest again. Not lose interest, but that's when my hype went up for the Illuminati fight sequence. Then it kind of slowly came back to moderate. Like when he went to another universe and met up with the Third Eye Strange. I guess you call him the inverted Strange, or the Incursion.
The one from what was it? The Incursion universe. Right. Because in the comics, the incursions are when so that was a term used during Hickman's line of Secret Wars back in 2015, which was when two universes would collide with each other, destroying both of them in the whole multiverse. So in this universe, or in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, incursion seems to mean a universe that has been destroyed by the means of its own self or another universe intervening with it. because they talk about with Illuminati, the original Strange, using the Darkhold ended up causing an incursion on another planet or another universe, which helped them find a way to defeat Thanos, but they weren't in the process. It did destroy that other universe. So then he's thrown to another universe where that Doctor Strange used the Darkhold and caused an incursion on his own world as well. So
Okay.
that's where I don't know if he has an official name or anything, but I just think of him as Incursion Strange for that reason.
Yeah, I thought that sequence was okay, but I really liked it when and this is what makes Sam Raimi this is what makes Sam Raimi. I like when he uses like the zombie Strange
Yes.
and he takes all the dead people that try to like take him down because he used Scarlet Witch's magic that wasn't supposed to be used. He used some magic that wasn't supposed to be used, but I like how he turns all of them into a cloak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or no, it was because he was messing with the dead. So the spirits of death were going, you're inhabiting the body of the dead. You can't do that. We're going to take you down.
Right.
And yeah, I love that line of, you're the sorcerer supreme. You're going to let some demons take you down? Really? And then he just kind of goes, yeah, you're right. I am the sorcerer supreme.
Right. Yeah, so he fights Wanda with them, and here's the thing where I said, okay, and we're back to the usual Marvel stuff. America says, well, I can't beat you, but I can give you what you want. Throws her in with her sons. We run into the whole thing with like, oh, you're scary, you're not our mommy. And they run over to the other mommy who just got done killing a bunch of people too.
Well, under the control of the Scarlet Witch.
Right.
It's not that she did that.
I know. I love how she's like in that room and she gets the spell just comes off of her and she goes, "My children," and she just jumps back through the door. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like I was like, you know what I mean? Like you just killed a bunch of people and now you're like, oh, my children.
Yeah, I will say that the two children actors, they're good TV actors. They are not movie good actors.
Yeah, I mean, I just took them as kids. I didn't really like that. Didn't really distract me from the movie. But yeah, I guess so. But yeah, the final showdown happens, and yay, save the day. I gotta say, man, I wasn't really geeked with and listen, I like Charlize Theron, but the one scene where the third eye pops up and it cuts the credits, and then she shows up and says, "Hey, you ready for a new adventure?"
Yeah, she comes in and like says that you've caused an incursion, which kind of is leading to a Secret Wars event, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I have no idea, sir.
Yeah.
You're the expert. You're the expert on this out of the two of us. I'm
Yeah.
just
So
now getting back to comics.
yeah, that's what I'm guessing that's leading to. I actually had no idea who she was when she popped on screen, but she said incursion. My comic brain just started lighting up and went, "Oh, Secret Wars event. We're actually getting a Secret Wars event." So I actually looked it up later, and apparently she is the daughter of Dormammu, who was the villain in the first Doctor Strange, which is why you saw his universe in that kind of bubble that she created that they walked through.
Okay, so she's the daughter of Mads Mikkelsen's character.
Yes.
Oh, okay, all right, cool. Whatever happens, if you can bring Harry Styles in as Thanos' brother, then whatever.
Yeah. Well, no, Harry Styles coming in as Thanos' brother was a hype moment. Her coming in, I was like, I have no idea who you are, but I like the words that you're saying.
Right. I want a Black Mirror moment where a self-aware Marvel character, when someone like her comes around and goes, guess what? You still have to save the day. It never ends. It's like, no, but I just want to live a normal life. you never live a normal life when you're a Marvel character. Now let's go. Just like dragged them.
That's a Deadpool moment. That's it's either Deadpool or if they decide to introduce Gwenpool into the universe or into the MCU. Those are the only characters that would say anything similar to that.
Right. Like, dude, I just want to live a normal life. I saved the day. Villains never die. They just get knocked out and come back tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh man, that would be great. I'd love to see that. Oh dude, Bruce Campbell. I love his relationship with Sam Raimi, dude. I like how he's always like in his work in some way.
Yeah, he I can't remember where did he
Evil Dead.
No, I mean like in this movie.
He was the hot dog guy that kept punching
that's
himself.
right. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember for a moment there I was like, hold on. Was he in this movie? I don't remember that. But yeah, I remember. Yeah, okay.
Then in the end, I love the final credit sequence. I love how it starts and he looks at the camera and goes, "It's over."
It's over. And then it just pans, but that was the bet. So when it comes to like the troll after credit scenes, that one I think is my new favorite versus the one from the end of Homecoming where it had Captain America in like one of those like the school video things going, so you've been waiting here a long time and you're not getting exactly what you wanted, and that's pretty disappointing, huh? And then it cuts to black. Up to that point, that was my favorite, like, oh, you got me, Marvel. This one I think was better. This one made me laugh a little bit harder.
Yeah, that made me laugh, but I gotta say I wasn't nearly as disappointed as when we got to the end of the Batman and I saw some weak ass question mark.
Yeah.
From the Riddler. I was like, man, what is that? And I just walked out just shaking my head. But yeah, man, I think Sam Raimi, I think this was a great movie for him to come back to the Marvel universe.
Yes.
You know, being that this man gave us our childhood Spider-Man, our childhood live action Spider-Man. But I thought this movie was I thought it was solid for what it was. It didn't give me everything I kind of wanted. It still ran the Marvel formula. And
see, this is another one where so many people were hyped on it, expecting so much from it. And it
I
just
expected so much more.
It didn't deliver everything. It delivered a lot of really good stuff, but it didn't deliver everything I was hoping that they would do when they were playing with the multiverse of madness. They only really went to 3 universes. There
are great moments in this film. There's Professor Xavier coming back. There's the Illuminati fight. There's the traveling through multiverses. There's Zombie Strange and his
that whole fight scene at the end I loved.
Yeah, there are great moments in this movie, but overall, man, I gotta say it better than Morbius, but not as good as No Way Home. And it's straight up 3 out of 5 for me.
This one's a 4 out of 5 for me. It gave me enough of that tickling of the comic nerd in me to enjoy a lot of it, but yeah, it did falter in scenes. This movie, I will say, I didn't expect the horror element from the original script to stick around when we lost the original director. But
I didn't read. You read the original script? Came across your way?
No, but it was one of those things where when they were coming up with the sequel, there was rumors that like the villain would be Nightmare, and it was going to be like a more horror centered movie, and it seems that Marvel kind of got a little scared of doing that, so they kind of pulled back from that idea. But Raimi definitely brought some horror elements to this movie.
Oh yeah, this ain't for kids.
There were a couple jump scares. There were, a couple moments where it got really dark and everything.
They were doing too much, man. I know it's from the comics, but really the Illuminati, come on.
See, I love that part. I got to disagree with you 100% on that. I loved that part.
I love those characters. I think a different name could fit them. But yeah.
I don't think there was another name that they could have given them that would have
The Secret Society.
No.
That's perfect. The MSS, the Marvel Secret. No, okay. Wait, the XSS, the X Secret Society. or the MSS, the Mutant Secret Society. See,
They weren't mutant. The only mutant there was Xavier, and they didn't even use the word mutant for him.
they're technically all mutants, but yeah.
Well, no, because Black Bolt's an Inhuman. Captain Marvel got her power from the Infinity Stones. Captain Carter got it from a science experiment.
So they're non-human, right?
Yeah, they're non-humans.
So they're
Okay,
mutants.
no, that's not the same. Damn it!
Right.
Do we want to start this argument? Because we're going to be here for a couple hours if we start this argument.
Nah, man, I got better things to do. Nah, man, but yeah, I thought it was cool for what it was. I wasn't that blown away by it though. Like I don't think I would see it again.
This one, I kind of do want to see it again, just because there's a couple scenes that I really did like. But I'm probably not going to go back to a theater to see it again. This is going to be a home video. I'll watch it again at some point. Like when I eventually have to do the rewatch of everything Marvel again for the next big like Avengers movie, I'm not going to be disappointed when I get to this one. I'm not going to be, the same way that I'll be popping in Thor 2 and just going, oh God, okay. It's only 2 hours. It's 2 hours, and then I get to move on to something new. It's just 2 hours. I'll be, looking forward to seeing this one again.
Okay. So I guess when it comes down to it, everything everywhere is the victor.
Yeah, I think that one, if we're going by like even a multiversal movie, I think it played with it a lot better because it came up with some interesting ideas for how they were traveling the multiverse, how they were connecting to it and everything like that. There was a lot more thought put into that one as a multiversal movie than there was Doctor Strange, sadly, which I was not expecting. I expected Doctor Strange to kind of be more multiversal than let's go to 2 universes and then, stop there.
Okay. Yeah. I got more out of everything everywhere all at once. And I think it has replay value. I think it has cinematic replay value. Like I want to see it again at the theaters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. That does that. But before we go, Avatar 2 sneak preview. What was your thoughts?
Oh man. That next one sure is coming.
Dude, when I saw December, I know you told me, but when I saw December, I'm like, okay, let's see if they stick to it.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm not. I could still be in the theater, sitting down and going, okay, supposedly 5 minutes. It's gonna start. I don't know, man.
I'll say this about James Cameron, man. He takes his time to craft his cinematic worlds. I listen, man. I know we take a dump on Avatar because it's not an original story, but man, is it a beautiful piece of shit.
I will say
movie.
that this is a glimmering piece of shit. They put all the sparkles on it. There might be a diamond in there somewhere, but man, is it covered up.
There's a diamond behind the lens of the camera.
Right, yeah.
The film is playing.
They're using a diamond for the lens they took the picture with, and they decided to put glitter all over that shit before they took that picture because, man, it does look beautiful. But from that trailer, I gathered nothing except the fact that, oh, look, that planet does have water.
They have a son, and there's some human kid running around.
Yeah, there's a human hybrid of the whatevers they are, the blue people.
That's a hybrid? I thought that, what was hybrid about him? I guess
he looks like just the same size as the blue people, except he has like human skin tone.
Oh, I didn't notice that part.
Yeah.
But yeah,
or maybe it was just perspective, and I just kind of was like, oh yeah, he's just a bigger dude. Okay, whatever. Because I was just looking at it and going, oh yeah, it looks beautiful, but nobody's spoken a single line yet. And then there's one line at the end of the trail. I can't even remember what it was.
Dude, I was watching the first Avatar the other day, man, and again, looks beautiful to this day.
Right.
But some of the dialogue, I was like, oh my goodness, like. When they first see my man in the wheelchair, they see Sam Worthington coming by in a wheelchair. You see some military men look, and one guy goes, "Oh, that's just wrong." When he first talks to the army sergeant, basically the bad guy of the movie.
I like that you're saying that you just saw the movie and you still can't remember the names of any of the characters in this movie.
Well, I saw part of it. I didn't finish the whole thing, but
okay, as is tradition.
Right. because it's a long movie. I remember the RV Sergeant guy when he first starts talking to him. I love how the camera does the classic pan around him. He goes, "Pandora will eat you up and spit you out." And they show the scar down his face. I'm like, dude, this is so corny.
It is. Yeah, for the new one, am I excited to see it? No. Am I gonna go see it on day one? Yeah, probably.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see what new visuals James Cameron has. I'm excited to see the visuals.
I'm excited to see this movie. I might bring some noise canceling headphones though. You know, it's
hey man, it could surprise us though. It could just be an original sequel to a not so original story.
We could end up coming back to the podcast and just going, "Oh my god, that was the best movie I've ever seen."
I'm not gonna call it, but we might get the next T2, man. Listen, man, Judgment Day is amazing.
Those are bold words, sir. Those are very bold words.
He's done it once. Actually, he's done it twice. Aliens and then T2. He's done it twice.
That's true.
He's good at sequels. He's very good at sequels.
We'll see. We'll see. I get where you're coming from, but at the same time, I don't believe that at all.
Look at the title of the movie, The Way of Water. I was like, whatever you say, man. Whatever you say.
I remember when they announced the title of it. I text you. I was like, okay, we're doing, Avatar 2 versus Waterworld. It's gonna happen.
And then I hit you back like, oh man, okay. That'll be the first time I see that movie. You go, yeah,
which is still shocking to me.
You've never seen Waterworld? I'm like, no. Listen, man, all the classic Kevin Costner films from back in the day when he was handsome Costner, I haven't seen Postman, Dances with Wolves, Waterworld, none of them. Like, I've seen Mr. Brooks, which I think is a great movie. Like, I've seen older Costner, but I haven't seen past Costner.
Oh, it's still shocking to me.
Yeah, I've heard stories, man.
We're gonna have to add them into the list somewhere. Maybe we will put it up against Avatar 2 for real, just to make you watch that movie.
As a joke, I think we should. That's a joke. I think we should, dog. Avatar 2 versus Waterworld as a joke.
We're penciling it in now. We'll see what happens later.
We'll add it to the schedule. All right, man. I think that wraps it up for this one.
Yep, I think that clears it out. Everything Everywhere at Once over Doctor Strange for both of us.
All right, y'all. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We'll catch you on the next one. Take care.